Salah Hashimi. He's legal advisor to the National Council for Iraqi Opposition. Thanks so much for speaking to us. Let me get your take first on how you think the Iraqi government itself should be responding to this. I mean, it condemned the U.S. airstrikes on the Iran-backed militia, but it's also condemned the storming of the embassy. What action, though, should it take to try and resolve this, given its own weak position at present?
First of all, thank you very much for having me, and allow me to offer my condolences to all those who lost their lives and those who were injured during the peaceful protests on the streets of Iraq. I think the Iraqi government can do very little to stop these armed factions, these armed militias, from entering into this very highly secure area called the Green Zone, where not only the American embassy is located, but also many other embassies are located. The problem actually started from the beginning, from 2003, when the invasion happened. What happened then was that the very first armed militia called the Badr organization, infiltrated the security forces with the sometimes blessing of the Americans, and in fact committed, or they were accused of committing atrocities against ordinary civilians. Now, what has happened since then is that there has been an increase in the number of armed militias in Iraq, and that has strengthened their position and weakened the position of the government and its security arm. And therefore, at the moment, what we see is that the government is almost helpless, apart from making empty speeches and pleas for the demonstrators to leave the area. I don't think the government can do anything, because the armed militias are in fact stronger than its security forces and even army.
Okay, that's not exactly encouraging. Let me ask you, though, going back, would you have advised the U.S. government not to strike these Kataib Hezbollah or these PMU targets in Iraq? Do you think that was a dangerous provocation?
Well, I think given the fact that the Americans have been subjected to a large number of attacks, by the way, this was the last attack was in Kirkuk, a base called K1, but before that there has been quite a few, and I read there were more than 10 attacks before the Americans actually responded. So first of all, there are a number of issues with regards to the attack. I think the timing of the attack was wrong, because now we have peaceful demonstrators on the streets trying to overturn a government in Iraq that they accuse of being corrupt and being pro-Iranian. And therefore, the attack at this particular time would take the eye off the ball and take away the importance of these demonstrations against the government and focus them on this attack. Secondly, I think there is the issue of the location. Now, we don't know why the American military chose that location in particular for Hezbollah. I do believe that Hezbollah has a number of barracks around Iraq. As I said, I don't understand why the Americans chose this one. That particular location was very close to the Syrian border. And now what those who oppose the attacks are saying is that this weakens the Iraqi government's control over the border with vulnerable Syria. And therefore, they are gaining more strength in their argument in counterattacking the attack by the Americans on these militias. So these are the two issues. I think the geographical location is one that was rather sensitive, and also the timing.
Okay, Salah Hashimi, we're going to have to leave it there. Thank you so much for joining us from London.